Good evening, everyone. My name is Clement H. Holloway, and today we're continuing the discussion we've been having for the past 3 weeks. That is how to find your first 100 customers. Today we are doing the third part, which focuses on content marketing, email marketing, and then social media. But before we get into today's session, I'd like us to do a recap of what we did last week. And last week, we talked about four basic things. The first one is in-person interactions, and that basically had to do with us going out there, meeting new people that we could easily convert to clients. The second one is being present. So finding creative ways to get people to know about your business, to hear about your business. And we talked about us wearing branded t-shirts. When you go for events, you try to speak out so that people can know that this particular company is present. So yes, we talked about all of that. And we also discussed referrals. So we said that you don't have to ask for referrals from only people that have used your service or product. You could ask for referrals from any person who knows you and trusts that you can offer the service that you offer. So you could just ask them, you could just ask them to link you up with people who might need your services. And that is what we talked about. And also, we discussed volunteering. And that is another creative way you can use to get clients by just offering to do things for free. And then through that free service, you build a portfolio of a service that you've done, and then people can look at that and give you business. So basically, that is that. So today we're going to be talking about social media. We're going to be talking about, content marketing, email marketing, and social media. The first thing I would like to talk about is content marketing. Now, when you talk about content marketing, it basically has to do with you creating content. It could be a video, could be textual content, that is a blog. It could be a picture, okay, that carries a particular information or content that you share with your audience. And the main goal for doing that is to be able to get them to notice you. That is the first thing. To give them information about a particular product or a service that you are offering. So you're not just giving that out for free, but then the bigger goal is to get them to patronize something from you. So, sorry, I have a bit of some sore throat, so you have to pardon me. The content marketing process is pretty simple. The first thing you have to plan. Okay, so you can just go out there and start creating content without having a substantive plan on how you want to communicate with your audience. What are the things that you want to share with them? How do you intend to even share that with them? You have to detail all of that in your plan. And then you create. After planning, you create the content. After creating the content, you publish, you distribute, and then you analyze. Now, the analysis part is what most people disregard, but then we'll discuss that in a bit. So let's take it one after the other. Let's discuss the plan. So how do you plan for your content marketing strategy? First of all, you have to know what your buyers want to hear or want to know. Now, you're not writing the content for just anybody. You're writing the content for people who will patronize your product or your service. So if you're writing for them, then it means that you have to know what those people are looking for so that you can create content for them. So what are they looking for? Why are they looking for that? And then how do they want you to give them the information? So if your people, for the little maybe survey that maybe you find out that your buyers want to get content in textual content. It means that you need to create a blog. If your buyers want to get your content in videos, then that means that you have to use YouTube, maybe Instagram. Your buyers want more pictures and flyers and stuff. Then you know the platforms and stuff that you need to do. So you have to be able to have all these things before you can even do content marketing. So that is captured in the plan state. Now you should also like the content that you're going to create, you should find a way to make it fun. Like it shouldn't be so serious. For example, Enterprise Hub, we do more of business and entrepreneurship. But you realize that most of the articles that we publish are not just too straightforward business. It tries to relate business to other stuff, our daily lives, makes it fun and relatable so that people are getting the raw information, they're getting the real information, but then it's also packaged nicely that it doesn't get boring. So we have to, when you're going to create content, you have to look at all of that. And then you also have to begin with major topics. So for example, you're going to, you offer social media marketing services, okay? So the broader topic could be social media marketing. You let them understand what social media marketing is, how you can use it, the benefits and all of that. And then after, you break it down into the little pieces. So social media is broad. Maybe you have Instagram, you have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all of that. So your content should be structured. You can't go and start from LinkedIn, and then after you finish discussing LinkedIn and maybe Facebook, you come in now, you're telling them what social media is. So it has to be structured properly. Now, the second stage is to create. Okay, you create the content. So after you've done all the planning, you need to create the content. Please pardon me, my throat is really bothering me. So now the content creation doesn't have to be only you. Okay, you might be the expert or the owner of the business, okay, but it doesn't mean that you have to be the only person to create content. If you have employees, you could guide them on the kind of content you want on the blog, and then they create it for you. You can get freelancers who could write for you with your guide. So you tell them, okay, I want you to write this about this, and this is how I want it to be structured. And then once they're professionals, they'll be able to create very good content for you. So we have no excuse to say, okay, look, I'm the main person doing this business. I'm too busy. I can't get time to write, or maybe I don't even have any writing skill. You can get people out there to help you. So every person out there should be able to do content marketing, irrespective of whether they're writers, they can write or not. You can get people to help you. Now, another option you might have is to get content from other sites. So there are a lot of people out there who are professionals and are willing to share their ideas, their information, the knowledge that they have on their blogs, their websites for free. So if any of that content relates to your business and you feel that your kind of audience that you're trying to reach would benefit from reading that or having access to that content, you just go there, you copy the content on your site, and then you make sure you give them the reference. Yeah, and that you'll be in trouble. So whatever you get the content from, you make sure that you give them the reference that it's not actually your own content, but then you feel that it's vital to your people, so you're sharing it and then letting them know that you got it from another site. So you can curate content. And then in content creation, you also have to create a routine. So you could decide, okay, I want to create content every Wednesday, and then you stick to it, because people are going to start working with your timelines. Once you communicate that every Wednesday you create content, people are going to be expecting you to post something on Wednesday. So if you don't do that, then they lose trust. They just forget about you, like you're not serious. So we have to stick to a routine when we are creating a content creation strategy. Now, the third step is to publish. So there are several ways you can publish this. So depending on your kind of content, if it is visual content, like I said initially, you could use YouTube, you could use Instagram, you could use Facebook too, you could use LinkedIn. But usually this is how I want to do it. If it is video, I'll post it on YouTube, I'll post it on Instagram, and then I post it on Facebook, but then I share the links of the YouTube videos on Twitter and then LinkedIn. So we can try that if it is video. If it is textual content, then you know that your first option is to have a blog, because that is where all the textual content goes. You can have a blog or you just post on a Facebook page, but I wouldn't really recommend that. If you have an article, you just go straight and post it on your Facebook page. Even if that is possible, you can do that. The best option is to create a blog on your website so that you share the link on the Facebook page or the other platforms. So as the person clicks on the link, goes to your blog on your site, reads the content. And once the person reads the content, it's easy for the person to easily say, okay, let me click on this link on this site because I've seen something interesting. And then they might contact you later for business. So it's good that we know where to share the kind of content that we have. So video, pictures, text, we all have these mediums available to us to be able to share this, the kind of content that we have. So let's look at that. Now, so in the publish, we have to also have a routine. Aside creating a routine for your content creation, you also have to have a routine for publishing. So you can decide, okay, we're going to publish 3 times in a week, and you designate some days for it and you stick to it. So it means that if you have such a schedule, every single Wednesday, somebody is going to be on your blog waiting to see something new. If they don't see something new, it means they're disappointed and they might never even visit your blog again. So it's good that we create that kind of routine that people can follow, and more or less like have a schedule with our content. Every now and then they know, okay, this particular day I can get this sort of content from this site. It makes it easier for them to build trust with us. Now, let me just, before I go to the final one, the last two, I want to just make this clear. The purpose for content marketing is to get business. We are not just going to give free service or like sharing content to educate people. No, that is how it's being presented, okay? But the bigger goal is to convert those people to clients. So whatever you're doing, you should have that at the back of your mind. Whatever content you are creating, you should try to skew the content and move people psychologically from reading the article to being paying customers or clients. So we always have to consider that. That will better guide us on the kind of content to create and even where to publish the content that we're looking for. Now, the fourth step is to distribute. So after you've published it on your blog or whatever, how do you distribute this content? It could be on WhatsApp. So you have a blog, you've published an article there. You could share the article on maybe a WhatsApp group. You have a WhatsApp broadcast, you could share it in there. You can share it on your Facebook page, Instagram, and all of that. So you don't just publish it on the site and just relax. You're not done. After you've published your content, you have to make sure that it's reaching people. And the only way you can reach people is if you disperse that information. So you push the links to those particular content that you shared on your platforms. That is very, very important. So let's try to do that. So we have the social media bit. We can either decide to use social media. We can use email marketing, which I'll talk about in a bit, and then word of mouth. So word of mouth is simply, okay, oh, maybe you can come, oh, if you, like I always do, when you think about entrepreneurship, the first blog to visit is Enterprise Hype. That's how I promote Enterprise Hype. So I tell you, look, if you're an entrepreneur, the only website you need to be visiting to be able to grow your business is Enterprise Hype. So you tell them, look, this site has a lot of content, and then they can go there and read it. You get it. So you can use word of mouth to promote your content. Or maybe visit my Facebook page, there's this video titled ABC, and then it details this. They can go there and check you out. So that is also very crucial. Then the last step is analyze. So if you're able to, you plan, you create, you publish, and then you distribute, and you don't analyze, then basically you've wasted your time, because the analysis part is more or less the most important part. That will tell you whether you're doing well or you're not doing well. That will tell you where to make changes, where to improve, and where to even just forget at all, like altogether. So when you want to analyze the kind of content that you share, there are four basic things you can look at. So who are the people who are visiting your site? So on Facebook, for instance, you're able to check geographical locations of people who are visiting your content, who are reading it, okay, people who are liking it, or people who have seen it. You're able to check their demographics, so their age, where the location that they're in and all of that. You're able to track that. The reason for that is if maybe you're creating a content on bead making and then you see that a particular age group is visiting that more, it means that the next time you're creating content, you target it to those people. For example, if you're going to even promote it, you'll be able to set the demographics to that age group so that you can reach more people. And then you should also be able to analyze the kind of people who follow your content. So is it basically businessmen? Is it students? Is it people who are above a certain age? All those things you can check on almost all the platforms. So your website, we have analytic tools that you can install to be able to do that. And then on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, they have their inbuilt analytics that you could easily do. But that is a broad thing. I wouldn't want us to go so much into details. I'm sure that the next time, maybe we're having a discussion like that talks about each of the platforms. The person handling that will talk about it. So that is also very important. Okay. All right. So that is it for content marketing. Now, content marketing, before we talk about email marketing, I want to just bring this out there. When you're doing content marketing and you don't have a site, you're going to be lacking behind. So I'm intrigued that after this discussion, if you're watching this video or you're listening to it, you don't have a website. WeWrite is currently running a promo. My company, we're running a promo. We'll share the link in there for startups. So if you're a startup, you're able to prove that you're a startup, we'll build a website for you for free. You just buy your domain hosting and then SSL, and then you get a website. So that is something that maybe we might want to look at after this session. So the links will be shared for all of us to have access to. So let's talk about email marketing. So email marketing basically has to do with you sharing content related to your business or service or product through using the email medium. Okay. Now, let's talk about the process of sending people emails. You don't just get up and get the person's email address and start pushing emails to them. Now, there's a process. The first one is to get permission. So email marketing works best when you have a website. So you have a website, there's a subscription button. The person clicks, they subscribe, and you get their email address, and then you can push your content to them. You get it? So the get permission stage simply has to do with you giving the people a reason to even give you their email in the first place. So for example, somebody comes to your site, reads some content, and there's a subscribe button, and then they click on it. Okay, they click on it. You could put them maybe subscribe to receive timely updates, or subscribe to get the best health tips, subscribe to do ABC. Now, we are giving them a reason why they should even subscribe to your site in the first place. So after they have done that, then you have to follow up, and then what? Like give them some bit of information about the kind of content you'll be feeding them going forward. So it's very important that we let our audience understand what we're going to feed them and actually ask for permission to do that. The mere fact that you have the person's email doesn't mean you could send anything to them. So it's very good. So you establish credibility, explain what the sort of emails you'll be sending them, and once they receive it, they are not surprised. Okay, but once we don't communicate that, and then we just start sending emails to people, it becomes a bit difficult for them to even appreciate what we're sending them. So the second step is to follow through with content. So if somebody has subscribed to your website, okay, and then you get the person's email, the next logical step is to contact the person before you even start sending content to the person. So somebody has subscribed, you have the email, just say, well, maybe thank you for subscribing. Could send a custom email. Thank you for subscribing to my site. Maybe going forward, we'll be sending you this information based on your preferences and stuff, so that the person is pre-informed on what to expect from you. You get it? So when somebody subscribes, you just leave it like that, and then there's no even a hello to the person, and then all of a sudden you start bombarding them with your business stuff. It makes it look ugly. They might just unsubscribe to your site. So it's good that after the person has subscribed to anything, or you've had access to the person's email, we send them more or less like a welcome email to talk to them, let them understand what they should expect from us, from you as a business, and the kind of content that you'll be giving them going forward. So that is also very important. And without that, it just makes the whole relationship a bit ugly. Okay. So the last step is to analyze and segment. Now, most people, okay, most of us, I used to do it anyway, we'll send emails and all of that, and we don't even check how the emails are doing. Now there are plugins and stuff that you can use for your site or your platforms to check that. There are systems that we can use. I'm sure we'll discuss that later. But what I want to talk about is the key things that you have to look out for when you want to analyze or maybe see how you're doing with your email marketing. The first thing is open rate. So when you send somebody an email, when you send a group of emails to people, how many people open the email? That is your open rate. So if you send 100 emails and then 5 people open the email, it means that your open rate is 5 over 100. Okay, so there are ways you're able to track that. You send somebody an email, you're able to know whether the person has opened or has not opened it. So once you're able to track that, then you know that, okay, fine. Maybe the reason why this person has not opened this email is because I didn't even capture the title of the email well. You get it? So before somebody can even open an email, the title of the email should be attractive. Like it should communicate well with the person before they can decide to open it. So when you're able to track these things, it helps you to, change your strategy a bit to suit the kind of audience that you have. So if you've been trying one particular title for a while and it's not working, the next time you have to tweak it a bit so that it communicates the content properly. The second thing is click-through rate. Now the click-through rate has to do with the people you sent the emails to going through your email and then clicking links that you've embedded in the email. So you might send an email and you're talking about some package, and then there's a link that leads to the sites. Okay, if those people are able to click on those links to go to your site, that is your click-through rate. So that also helps you to know that, okay, maybe the content I give them is valuable. It's something that they appreciate, that they need it. But if you send me an email and I'm reading through and there's nothing that catches my attention or nothing that I'm interested in, there's no way I'm going to click on any link. So that helps you understand, okay, these people are interested in this sort of content and this sort of maybe service or product. And then the unsubscribe rate is actually the easiest. So when somebody subscribes to your site and then all of a sudden they unsubscribe, it simply means that they were disappointed. So you couldn't give them the content that they were expecting to get from you. So that gives you, it helps you understand what you need to improve. Okay, so all these things are things that you could use to analyze your email marketing strategies. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is social media. And this is very broad, but we're just going to touch on a few things so that we'll leave the details to other sessions, because there's Facebook, LinkedIn, and all of that we'll have to discuss in detail. So we're just going to have an overview so that maybe we'll schedule another presentation to tackle them individually. Now, social media marketing is simple, basically sharing content on the internet using the social media platforms. And there are a whole lot of them, but the common ones are the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Okay, these are the main ones that we are very conversant with. So I'm going to focus on those ones for now. And if you're able to use any one or two of these, you're going to be able to get very good number of clients from there. So first off, why do you have to use social media? Okay, a lot of some people actually even think that using social media for business isn't good because people feel that when you're social media, you're more or less uh, like social media is a place for unprofessionals, like just to play around. But it's actually a big opportunity for you to reach more people. Now, these are the reasons. The first thing is that social media helps you to deliver better customer service. So you have a lot of your customers on there, and somebody has a quick query, a quick question, or maybe an issue that they want addressed. They could put on the Facebook page or your Instagram account, and then you respond to them instantly or in a few hours or days. It's easier that way than for them to come to your office and come and seek a redress. It makes it cumbersome. But when you have the social media platforms and they're managed properly, it helps you to be able to deliver that kind of service that they are looking to get from you. Then it also drives your brand. Okay, it drives the brand. If you manage it very well, you'll be able to build the kind of brand that you want. So in terms of even your graphics, the kind of content that you communicate on there, and all the other stuff that you can do on social media, you're able to direct the kind of the way you want people to see the brand. And that makes it easier. But previously, your brand will have to do with your building and maybe the kind of attire that your people wear. But now with social media, it's not about that. It's about how you look on the internet. So it makes it easier for you to brand yourself, even if you're a small business without an office. You can have a very solid social media brand without an office, and people will still appreciate that. So it's important that we use the social media to do that. And then you're able to manage reputation. I think I've discussed that. So you offer a service, a client could go on your social media page and there's maybe write a review for you. And then somebody will see and say, oh, I would like to work with these people. So it can help you build a very good reputation on your brand if you're using social media. And it's also a great opportunity to promote your content. So content marketing, you can use the social media platforms to promote that. And that will in turn bring more people to your website, which could easily generate into clientele and then maybe customers. So these are a few of the reasons that I feel we have to use as a business. We have to have almost all the social media platforms. So if you don't even want to get too busy with social media, at least you should have a Facebook page, an Instagram, or just Facebook is fine. Okay, depending on your business. So if your business is more visual, okay, like pictorial, you might want to go for Instagram. If it is any other thing, Facebook will work. And then LinkedIn is also another platform most people don't have. You see a lot of people have Facebook pages, they have Instagram, but then they don't have LinkedIn because they feel that, LinkedIn, you have to be a big brand before you can have a LinkedIn page. But it's actually very easy. You can create a LinkedIn page within seconds. So, and that is actually a good place to market because that's where all professionals are. So if you are into service and very high-end products, you might want to look at LinkedIn because that's also another great avenue that you could market yourself and then your products and brand. So like I said before, social media is broad. We have the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all these are going to be discussed. I'm sure within the month we'll have facilitators discussing them individually, but we'll have to take them one after the other. We can't capture all of these in one session. So we're hoping that maybe the next session we'll have somebody coming to talk about social media marketing and go into details to show us how we can use Facebook to market our products and then our services, and then we'll do that for the rest. I want to say that this is something that I want all of us to participate. Okay, because as a startup, you don't have a huge budget. Social media is our best fit. It's about the cheapest platform you can use to market yourself. So I'm hoping that we all participate. I don't know, we'll discuss with the team, maybe next week or the next two, we'll have somebody coming to talk about all these things. So thank you for being my audience. And we look forward to having you on our next session. I don't know if somebody has any questions that they might want to ask, so that we can discuss that before we end the session. You have any questions that, based on what I just shared? Is there any question, maybe suggestion, addition, anything that we could share and then talk about before we leave? Okay, so it looks like we don't have any questions. So I'd like to thank all the participants for taking the time to be a part of the session. We look forward to having you next week, and have a wonderful evening.